Hello, this is Jake. Collection of essays, poetry, speeches, stories, and stuff. Start off with some stuff. This is a grade 13 physics project we were given last week at school by a teacher who was rather perturbed because people who didn't have to write the final exam weren't doing anything. If you had over 6%, you didn't have to write the final. I wasn't going to do it, but then the night before it was due, I got this dinky little flame of energy. This is what I handed in. What they gave to physics. In alphabetical order to avoid favoritism. Andre Marie Ampere. Although Andy spent most of his time searching for the relationship between the current flowing through a conductor and the strength of the magnetic field it produces, he is most famous for his discovery of the burning tingling sensation resulting from trying to unfry toast with a butter knife. Carl Anderson, birth-death dates unknown, presumed to be with Jimmy Hoffa. Noted inventor of the positron, a ride of the CNT that spins in the opposite direction as the electron. It should also be noted that both rides induce an urge quite frequently succumbed to by living organisms to regurgitate any foods consumed at the fair. Dominique Arago, 1786 to 1853. This French physicist contributed to many fields of science, including astronomy and mathematics. His studies of light began with the particle theory, switched to the wave theory, and then proving to be an unprofitable endeavor, caused him to end his physics career altogether at age 12 when he received a stable job at a meat packaging plant. Aristotle, 384 to 322 BC. Aristotle thought the entire universe revolved around the earth. The conceited jerk. J.J. Balmer. J.J. developed an equation of some sorts, but will be remembered as the first man to inhale helium and talk funny. Erasmus Bartholinus. Erasmus was denied a personalized license plate. Antoine Henri Becquerel. In 1896, Henri Becquerel found that the mineral pitch blend containing radium polonium would expose a photographic film even, now get this, even when both were wrapped tightly to exclude any light, as if I understand or care, even. Niels Bohr, 1885 to 1962. This Danish scientist created a unique model of the atom. It proposed a sweet jelly-like nucleus with a much lighter, fleckier outer shell. His design won him a Nobel Prize and a third at the Global Pastry Awards banquet. W. H. Bragg, 1862-1942, and W. L. Bragg, 1890 to 1971. This famous father and son team wasted their lives inventing catchphrases for surfers. Robert Boyle. Robert's brother's wife's cousin's half-sister's son-in-law did something famous, but the documents were burnt in a tragic church fire, so no record of the event actually exists. Tycho Brahe, 1546 to 1601. Tycho spent over 20 years plotting the paths of the planets, and his nose was made of metal. Henri Cavendish. Henri invented both the lift bra and a machine to measure the gravitational attraction between small objects. J.D. Cockcroft. J.D. accelerated ions and was a regular stand-in on the Dukes of Hazzard. A.H. Compton. Named after the Compton effect, A.H. worked with X-rays, photons, electrons, tinfoil, and stuff. Nicholas Copernicus, 1473 to 1543. Nick presented the concept of the Earth revolving around the Sun, but because of his Polish background and his illiterate name, no one ever took him seriously. Charles Augustin de Coulomb. Charles invented the vertical arrangement of figures found in a matrix. Unfortunately for Chuck, the matrix was not discovered until 20 years after his death, when Edgar Rowe invented a remarkably similar but horizontal arrangement of figures. John Dalton, 1766 to 1844. John was the first man to compare the atom to a billiard ball. He even went as far as to say they stuck together. Leonardo da Vinci. Leonard discovered that the heavier something was, the harder it was to push. Stick to painting. C.J. Davison. C.J., who would never use anything but his initials because they stood for girls' names, showed that de Broglie was correct. Matter waves do exist. Louis de Broglie. Although he turned out a matter wave formula, Louis was once heard saying, "If matter waves do exist, I'll eat my cat and sell my daughter to an oil-rich Arab." To be continued.